to Newsnight. I am JB Buno.
I'm Noelle Webster.
I'm Nicoletta Shivers.
I'm Manon James.
And I'm Irving DeJohn.
Like Monday's episode, we have a special presentation today for the episode of Newsnight. 5 people giving you guys the news. So here we go. Bernard Madoff, the mastermind behind a $50 Ponzi scheme, is expected to plead guilty in a lower Manhattan court to 11 counts listed as investment advisory fraud, mail fraud, wire fraud, false filings to the SEC, false statements, perjury, theft from an employee benefit plan, and 3 other counts of money laundering. Wow. Madoff has been accused of soliciting billions of dollars from investors since at least the 1980s, but using most of the money to meet periodic investment requests. He also allegedly hired dozens of employees with no finance experience to generate false trading reports, and promised some investors as high as 46% of an annual return, charging 4 cents a share on the stocks he traded. So he was benefiting, and the people that he was working with was benefiting in tremendous amounts. In 2006, Madoff told the SEC under oath that he controlled only a few $100 million. As of November 30th last year, right before his scheme unraveled, Madoff reported having 4,800 clients with a $64.8 billion revenue under his management. So he's dealing with more money than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever.
Or will see.
Yeah,
So-
probably.
I heard that a couple investors actually committed suicide over that.
Wow.
They lost so
Wow.
much money in it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's awful.
it's absolutely awful.
We also got the Mets ownership
Mm-hmm.
in that Madoff scheme, and that caused him not to be able to sign Manny Ramirez.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Oh.
because what happened was that they lost so much money in that it set things back for Citi Field, it set things back for free agent signings. And I remember Johnny Damon and I think it was Xavier Nady got hurt too with that, so they couldn't even, there was an article last month, they couldn't
Right.
pay their bills
Right.
because of Bernard Madoff. So he's done a lot.
He's done a lot of damage.
He's
A
been
lot of
busy.
damage. So finally had a commission is Bernard Madoff.
Yeah.
So there have pretty much been weird casting rumors flying around for Batman 3 since, well, Batman 2 came out. And it's been a while since we heard one, so it was a little surprising when I found out that Australia's Herald Sun reported that Christian Bale was out of the third Batman film to be replaced by his Terminator Salvation co-star Sam Worthington. According to the Herald Sun, Worthington's star is about to shoot into the stratosphere with his performances in the upcoming Terminator and later in the year with James Cameron's Avatar. The Herald Sun, however, did not give any substantial reasons for coming to this conclusion on this rumor. Pretty much there's just vague recounting of industry gossip. I don't know, I think they said that because of Christian Bale's recent leaked rant, I don't know if you guys saw that, where he went absolutely crazy on the Terminator set, they said that, you know, that might have damaged his image, so they don't want him for the third Batman, but that sounds like utter baloney to me. They are not making Batman 3 without Christian Bale after Dark Knight made so much money.
So.
Yeah, definitely not.
And, I don't know, that clip was just funny of him going crazy. He's an action star, you can be a
Yeah,
jerk.
really. Right. The Dark Knight, he's supposed to be.
So, I don't know who this Herald Sun is kidding.
There was so much
Right.
speculation about before the Dark Knight with who was going to play the role of the Joker, because everyone was so up on that. I remember Johnny Depp being rumored, Adrian Brody being rumored. So there's always a lot of hype going into Batman movies, but I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's just no, it's not going to happen.
Nope.
Tragedy struck a school in southwestern Germany this morning after a former student of the high school entered the school fully armed, killing 9 students and 3 teachers. It was the nation's worst shooting since another teenager gunman killed 16 people and himself in another high school shooting in 2002. The gunman has not yet been identified, but he graduated last year from the high school. The gunman managed to trigger a land and air manhunt. He hijacked a car, let the passengers go, and drove about 25 miles before the police found him. When confronted, he killed 2 bystanders in a shootout with police before he was slain. The 2 officers were seriously injured, but there were no immediate information on other casualties. He went into the school with a weapon and carried out a bloodbath, said the regional police chief Erwin Hedger. I've never seen anything like this in my life. That sounds absolutely
For more,
wonderful.
check out Cops. But that definitely sounds really, 25 miles is a long way to go before
Before actually being
being
found.
found, yeah.
And he's only 19, I'm guessing, since he graduated last year.
Right.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
It's tragic.
Tragic.
Absolutely.
Okay, a bit of an odd occurrence happened in Philadelphia the other day. Mark Arabia, the owner of a Pets Plus store, got an unwelcome surprise. Arabia was expecting to get a shipment of 3 boxes of tropical fish. Instead, he received a coffin containing the corpse of a 65-year-old man. The man had apparently died of Alzheimer's, and his body was supposed to go to a research facility in Allentown, about 70 miles away. U.S. Airways has released a statement saying that the mix-up occurred due to a verbal miscommunication between a delivery driver and the cargo representative. The airline also issued an apology. And the fish, they were left at the airport and have probably died by now.
Did you say a verbal miscommunication?
Yes.
So dead body and tropical fish?
Somehow,
Sounds
I don't know how you mix up.
The
It's
weight-
a
3
coffin.
boxes and coffin, I think they're a
The
little
weight
different.
difference, wouldn't you
That's
notice,
right.
hey, this is a kind of,
This is a
This is
coffin.
a
Why would I
big
take
fish.
it to a fish store?
Yeah, I didn't know Pets Plus carried these. Anyway.
Yeah.
That must have been an awful surprise when we opened
Yeah.
that coffin. I can't even imagine.
do you guys use Craigslist for anything?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Hear that occasionally.
Well, on Thursday, Albany police arrested a woman who posted an offer on Craigslist promising a big smile on your face for $150 to $200 and anything else that may occur is between consenting adults. The woman claimed it was not an advertisement for illegal prostitution, but donations for time and companionship. Her arrest is just the latest in a series of internet-related sex strings in Albany County this year. The woman arrested have moved into Albany area for places such as Rhode Island, Illinois, and Colorado, and a male employer who used the bogus airline to front sex for sale action that came from outside Philadelphia. In January, 1 man and 7 women were arrested in Colonia in 3 separate unalleged prostitution rings. They were operating out of, you guys know Wolf Road? It's right off of
Yeah.
Central.
Yeah.
They were operating out of Wolf Road hotels near Colony Park. One woman told police she came to Albany because the area was fertile and it was a good place to work.
Oh my
So
goodness.
apparently,
It was
Fertile? Fertile? Of all the
never mind the play on words, but yes, this is a fertile area for
goodness.
prostitution. And prostitution expert Morma Jeem Almodovar, executive director of Coyote, a Los Angeles-based organization that advocated for the decriminalization of prostitution, says she's not surprised. Women who work in this industry go where the money is. So apparently Albany is where it's at. If you want to be a
Well, it's the
prostitute.
state capital. All the big politicians are here.
Oh, I
mean,
guess.
Spitzer,
Spitzer
come on.
reference.
Oh, God.
I know Director Joe Bonilla is a Spitzer fan, so he won't be happy to hear that. But
Oops.
but keeping it on New York politics, Kristen Gillibrand, the new junior senator for New York, is benefiting from former Senator Hillary Clinton's extensive New York network of campaign operative donors and advisors. Even former President Bill Clinton will be fundraising on the senator's behalf at an Upper East Side fundraiser for Gillibrand, who is well known upstate, but still faces significant obstacles downstate where she's not as well known, especially in terms of Democratic primaries. A recent Marist College poll reported that only 18% of Democrats rated Ms. Gillibrand as doing an excellent or even good job, while more than half were unsure. So a lot of people still skeptical about if Gillibrand was the right candidate to replace Senator Hillary Clinton, who has now become Barack Obama's Secretary of State in the Obama administration. Gillibrand's largest obstacle now is quelling suspicions among some Black and Latino leaders over her positions on gun rights, immigration, and other issues. Gun rights and immigration, two very, very big topics in New York State, especially on Long Island with immigration. For some reason, certain areas of Long Island are just hubs for pooling immigrants, and then of course gun rights, especially in New York City, especially two very sensitive topics.
In some other news, spurred by the controversies surrounding alleged racism in Resident Evil 5, website videogamer.com decided to talk to an expert on racism. They spoke to Glenn Bowman, who is the senior lecturer at the Department of Anthropology at the University of Kent, Bowman checked out 3 levels on the video game Resident Evil 5, and while the academic did note a number of interesting references to the people's reaction to colonialism in Africa, Bowman said he did not see any racism. He said, "I think it's silly to call it racist." And he also pointed out that in a horror game, you have to make things scary. So, if it's in Africa, it will naturally feature scary Africans and scary African cultural artifacts, and that there's nothing racist there. The thing that I think is funny about all this alleged racism in Resident Evil 5 is that in the first 3 games, we're killing white zombies. In the 4th game, we're killing Spanish zombies, and all those Spanish zombies do is they just point, curse at you in Spanish, and look ridiculous. And you just massacre them, and no one said anything. And then Resident Evil 5, we're in Africa, and we're shooting African zombies, and all of a sudden they're just like, this game is racist, it's outrageous. I just think it's silly.
So you're trying to say that in Resident Evil 6 we're going to be killing Asians?
Right,
Most likely.
thinking the same.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Actually, probably not, because it's a Japanese game. So.
There you
So
go.
Russians in Resident Evil 6.
Gotcha.
With the fur coats, fur hats, everything.
Yet. Ow, that hurt.
If skin cancer is not enough to get people to stop tanning, maybe the chance of being burned to death while inside the bed will change people's minds. In Rock Hill, South Carolina, a young man was working on his tan when he heard popping and crackling sounds. He quickly realized that the tanning bed was on fire. He fled the store, warning people as he ran. The fire damaged 7 of the shopping center stores and forced people to evacuate. Authorities reported that no one was injured in the incident, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. So,
That's so scary.
so scary. It's like a coffin. You're in a coffin, and
Yeah, a lot of people are very, very touchy when it comes to tanning salons and the tanning beds, because it's kind of like you just lay down and this whole big contraption closes on you.
ever since I know what you did last summer when somebody got locked in that.
Yeah, and it happened in one of those Final Destination movies.
Yes, yes.
Oh my god, that's awful.
People still keep going tanning, so.
Not really good. Gotta be tan, even if you get burnt
No,
alive.
right.
Well, hopefully with the weather getting better, people will stay away from the tanning and actually get outside.
Get their vitamin D from the actual sun.
Okay. A floating city may seem like science fiction, but it could be a possibility within the next few years. The Seasteading Institute has already drawn up plans for a city off the coast of San Francisco. Apparently, it is believed that such communities would be perfect for experimenting with new forms of government. A few ideas for new laws include legalizing marijuana and making intellectual property communal. The floating city would likely be built in modular pieces so that urban layouts could be created in different ways. City on the ocean is not a new idea. However, a prototype could be ready in as little as 3 years. However, it has not been calculated what such a project would cost or even how it would be constructed.
So the hippie dream has come
Yes.
true.
Yes.
Floating cities and legalizing marijuana
Exactly.
away from
Oh,
society.
I was gonna say, own little community.
Yeah. Yep, a hippie
Utopian.
paradise.
Yes.
That's cool though.
That is
Yeah.
pretty
It
cool.
is, yeah.
All right, and in sports news, the Netherlands shocked the Dominican Republic in the first round play of the World Baseball Classic. This is actually pretty shocking because the Dominican Republic was favored to win the World Baseball Classic. They have superstars like Pedro Martinez, Jose Reyes, and David Ortiz on their team. And they weren't defeated just once by the Netherlands team, they were defeated twice in the span of a few days. So the no-name team won their second consecutive game, 2-1 in the 11th inning. The lone recognizable name on Team Netherlands, Randall Simon, who used to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates way back when, raced from the dugout to a spot behind third base. He got on his knees and said a prayer to thank his mother and began to sob uncontrollably. So this is a big deal because Netherlands was not even in anyone's guess to go anywhere in the World Baseball Classic.
The
And
Dutch.
they shock a team like that. Sorry.
No, it's awesome because I remember seeing the highlights for it on ESPN and just thinking to myself, just wow, I honestly couldn't believe it because it was a thriller. I mean, when it's extra innings and just really just an incredible baseball game. But I also think that this is huge for the World Baseball Classic because there's been a lot of skeptics. People think that maybe this isn't the greatest event, especially timing with spring training and stuff like that. So really good publicity for the World Baseball Classic. Just bad for the Dominicans.
Do you think it was because Alex Rodriguez didn't play?
That's what a lot of people talk about the next couple of days.
I think it's great because it opens up Team USA to finally win it.
Yeah.
Because they really were disappointing last time around.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I guess you can consider them the favorites now that the Dominican Republic is out of it. So.
I would.
So a lot of incentive for Americans to watch the USA and World Baseball Classic. In New York City, Public School 140 is undergoing an unusual experiment that was started last year. The school has arranged single-sex classes to address sagging test scores and behavioral problems. At least 445 such classrooms nationwide are dividing their boys and girls in an effort to boost test scores, according to the National Association for Single-Sex Public Education. Most of these classes have sprouted since the 2004 federal regulatory charge that gave public schools freedom to separate girls and boys. There are 95 single-sex public schools in the nation, and unlike other educational programs aimed at improving student performance, there is no extra cost. Critics of the separation, such as Kim Gandy, president of the National Organization for Women, said that the separation promotes gender stereotypes, citing that boys who have never been beaten by girls on an algebra test will have problems with female supervisors in the future. That's an interesting correlation. But how do you guys feel about separating boys and girls in the classroom, especially at such a young age?
I think they need a broad.
I was gonna say I don't really think it's that good of an idea. I think it's better to.
Because in the workforce, they're going to actually have to work together.
No more passing notes in class.
Yeah.
Do you like me? Yes, no, maybe.
But I think that's the whole thing about socializing in school. You have to socialize with
I was gonna say you learn
the opposite sex
skills
too.
early
Yeah,
networking.
exactly. Yeah.
Plus, they're going to go into middle school and they're not going to know what to do with themselves because they're going to have all these feelings toward girls and they're just not going to know how to speak to them at all. So it's going to be really bad for them, actually.
Yeah, so definitely odd.
Yeah.
Definitely odd.
Yeah.
A university in Liverpool has launched a Master of Arts degree in the Beatles. Liverpool Hope University says on its website that the course entitled The Beatles, Popular Music and Society consists of 4 12-week instructional modules and a dissertation. Mike Brocken, senior lecturer in popular music at Hope, says, "There have been over 8,000 books about the Beatles, but there have never been serious academic study, and that is what we are going to address. 40 years on from their breakup, now is the right time, and Liverpool is the right place to study the Beatles." I mean, what are you going to do with that degree, though?
Right.
I thought my English major was going to be like a tough one to sell out there. You got a Beatles degree.
We also offer the history of rock and roll, which can be taken as a liberal arts or arts towards your general education. And I think they play a lot of the Beatles, and they learn a lot about them. So.
Oh yeah, it's a cool idea to have a
Yeah.
Beatles class. It's just interesting to have a whole.
Yeah, an entire like rock and roll. You can go into the rock
Right,
industry.
that's
Like the Beatles aren't together, so
Right.
most of them aren't even alive. What are you gonna do with that?
I know. There might be 2 men that would be strong advocates of the floating island. In Jacksonville, Florida, authorities stopped 2 men with 17 marijuana plants in the bed of their pickup truck and told police that they were moving them to protect them from burglars who robbed his house the night before. Police said they arrested a 26-year-old man after receiving a tip that 2 men were loading pot plants onto a truck around noon Saturday. Police reports found that the plants were beneath a cover in the truck of the bed. Authorities said the man was charged with cultivating marijuana, and the truck's driver was charged with felony marijuana possession. The driver told police that he was only driving the truck because the man's license was suspended. Both men were later released on bond.
This is a very unique episode of News Night. These are ridiculous stories. That one's certainly unique. That's a keeper.
Yeah.
That's a keeper.
I would love to meet this 26-year-old. Offering information that just doesn't make any sense.
I want to be the cop
Yeah,
that pull over.
the cop and myself.
Officer,
No, people were
They
gonna
robbed
steal
my
it.
house.
Yeah,
They
they
robbed
had to
my
hide
No
it.
choice.
it's not my pot.
Okay. Exciting news in research. A girl from Colorado, born with optic nerve hyperplasia, can now see due to experimental stem cell treatments. Optic nerve hyperplasia means that the optic nerve does not fully develop. The only way to repair this is to grow more cells. The girl and her mother traveled to China this winter for the treatment which used umbilical cord cells. The girl was injected for 6 weeks and received acupuncture to stimulate the cells. She can now see for the first time and even has gotten her driver's permit.
Oh, that's a nice story.
Yeah.
That's great, yeah, that was a good story.
But they didn't have the treatments here in the U.S. because of the controversy, so they
Right.
actually had to go to China and stay there for her to be able to do
I think Obama's working on that, he's trying to reverse the Bush's first law against stem
Yeah,
cell
apparently
research.
stem cell research has a lot of potential if it's used correctly.
Yes.
So
With
that's
modern
an
day
excellent story.
technology, it's,
Yeah.
you know.
But still here, it's very controversial, just because of the ethical aspect of it to many Christians who believe they're killing fetuses.
Right.
So it's just kind of a weird thing here more than,
They're separate
probably
between
more
church
than
and
in-
state.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but now
in
they have
theory,
the,
there should be.
Now they've discovered they can use umbilical cords, so they don't need to use fetuses. So that hopefully,
With those kind of
Well,
discoveries,
yeah.
for that research.
Well, Joe, it gets even weirder. Japan's always on the forefront of technology. This one struck me as odd. Scientists in Japan have created a robot that can serve as a substitute teacher. The robot can take attendance, smile, and even scold bad behavior. The robot creator said that even though the robot is eerily lifelike, that it is not meant to replace human substitute teachers. Unlike other robots, the robot teacher can display 6 basic human emotions: surprise, fear, disgust, anger, happiness, and sadness. And top it all off, the robot's skin is made out of rubber, and it can be pulled back with motors and wiring around the mouth and eyes. So when it looks mad or it frowns or does anything, its face moves in conjunction with that. And it was originally designed to be a receptionist in Japanese offices in 2004.
Oh my goodness.
So you're going to go into your dentist's office one day and you're going to see a robot that can scold you for not filling out your form. That's great.
And then these robots are going to join together and take over the world. Of
I,
course,
Robot,
the first
all
thought comes
again.
to everybody's mind.
Of course.
I don't know how much I'd like that.
The stories are just getting more and more far-fetched here, but so we'll end it here. Before we end today's episode, big shout out to the Relay for Life organization. The Students Against Cancer are really doing an excellent job. They are bringing in comedian Jim Norton, as seen on his HBO special Monster Rain, and he's also on XM Satellite Radio's Opie and Anthony. He is coming to Albany, and 60% of the ticket proceeds are benefiting Relay for Life. So Jim Norton taking a pay cut, for the American Cancer Society and Relay for Life. So really, really just a great cause. And he's hysterical, just a really raunchy, funny comedian. So tickets are $10. You can get them at Copies Plus. The show is going to be at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. And tickets start going on sale March 12th at Copies Plus. So be sure to get your tickets before they sell out. And once again, just a friendly reminder, Relay for Life, March 21st to 22nd. It's a 13-hour relay that goes through the night, and it's going to be at Sefke Arena. If you haven't signed up, do so. So that concludes it for this episode of Newsnight from JB and the Newsnight team. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a great night.